It's June 15, 2023. My name is Jimmy Van, and this is KYN Live. My guest recently updated his Twitter profile picture to reflect what he looked like 3 years ago instead of 12 years ago. He discovered how much exercise he can get playing table tennis on the Oculus Quest, and he hates having his doorbell rung to the point that he covered it with cardboard. He is the host of the Roto Grinders Fantasy Sports pregame show. This is Jordan Cooper. Jordan, how are you, man?
Good. Glad to finally be on with you. I listen to Fightful shows all the time. Let me tell you that I put them on my phone because I work at my computer throughout the day. My wife was convinced for months upon months that the name of your show is Listen to Your Boy.
Listen to your boy.
Right. She was confused why there's a list. Like, why is he going through a list? Why isn't he just listening to Sean? It's Listen to Your Boy.
Well, not that I want to go off on a tangent, but Sean is trying to get me to change the name of the podcast. But another story for another day. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to talk to KYN 7 of the top news stories of the week that are stupid, funny, or weird. I'll get your reactions, and I'll ask you questions along the way. And guys, send in your super chats to get your question or statement read on the air. If you don't want to donate through YouTube, or if you can't catch the show live, go to kynchat.com, leave a question or statement anytime you want, and we will read it on the air. I feel like a broken record because I say this every week. It is so easy to find 7 stories for this thing. You know, every week I got to weed through 20 or 30 just to pick 7 because they're never ending. So I got 7 good ones again, man. You ready to go?
Sure. 7's a lucky number.
7's a lucky number. Yeah. Let's start with story number 7, reported by the Japan Times. All right. And all these stories are real. As nutty as they are, might be, they're real. So the Japanese government, they lifted their mask wearing mandate after 3 years of the COVID-19 pandemic. This led to an unexpected issue for a lot of people that has resulted in many of them turning to specialized instructors for training. Jordan, what kind of training are people in Japan getting ever since the mask wearing mandate ended?
Well, I'm trying to think of things that would be very hard to do that when you have a mask on that you wouldn't be used to having to do after 3 years. Being married for 12 years, I'm going to guess blowjobs.
Okay, that would have been a much better answer. And I would have had this story on this list for a different reason. No, they are booking training sessions to learn how to smile again. This is real, and we got pics. Look at these. So people in Japan, and most of them are women, they felt a need to practice their smiles and facial expressions before they took off the masks in public. And so companies are popping up that offer what they call smile education, where people can learn how to flex their cheek and their mouth and even their neck muscles to help them smile and overcome fear and shyness. There's one instructor named Keiko Kawano. She has over 4,000 people signed up for classes to learn how to smile. What do you think, man? I mean, the things you learn, people have to learn how to smile again. I don't know. What do you think?
This seems like some propaganda shit. Like, come on. Is life so hard in Japan? Were they not like, I mean, like I was wearing a mask during the pandemic, and if something was funny or something, there was some reason I'd smile. This almost seems like they're trying to keep up appearances of like, oh, now the masks are off. They don't realize that, you know, Tokyo sucks or something. Like, why weren't they smiling before? And like, how much are these courses? Is this government mandated? Is this part of like, people are paying people?
Yeah, these are capitalists. These are people that found a way to make money. But you know, the only thing I will say in the defense of the Japanese people is people in Asian countries were wearing masks way before COVID-19. And so I wonder if some of them have been wearing masks for like a decade and it's all they've ever known. That's the only thing I can possibly think to try to make sense of it. I can't think of any other reason.
How much would you charge, Jimmy, for a smiling class?
$5 a month.
What would be Jimmy, what would the class even be? Like, you come in and like, is it like a Zumba workout? Is it like, I mean,
Joe, put up the pictures again. Put up the pictures again. So there they've got, I guess those are the instructors that are like, and look at that. They're showing, see that? They're showing like the cheek muscles and telling you where you want to flex, I guess. And look at this. It's like a classroom setting. Yeah, look at these people.
If I was running this class, Jimmy, they'd walk in, they'd pay me my $100, and I go, smile. Class is over.
Class dismissed. Class dismissed. Yeah, like Buzz Sawyer training the Undertaker. That's going to go over some people's heads. All right, let's go to story number 6. reported by news18.com. All right. I don't know if this one might be fake, but I'll get your thoughts. So, a woman in India decided to get a tattoo in an effort to impress her husband and express her love for him. A video of her getting the ink done went viral. And my question for you is, what was so unique, if not puzzling, about this tattoo that made the video go viral?
Can you give me some clue on where the tattoo is located?
That might be part of the answer. So, no, I cannot.
Oh, you can't. So obviously it's in a place where you normally wouldn't get a tattoo. I'm not a tattoo person. Jimmy, do you have any tattoos?
I do not. So I want to get a couple for my kids on my forearm, and my wife is adamant against it, so I've held off. But that's
Well,
what
I
I
mean,
want to do.
the main tattoo that I know of is Cody Rhodes' neck tattoo. So, like, that is that weird enough that someone would get a neck tattoo? I'm trying to think of what part of the body. I'm getting the sense that it's on a part of the body we don't normally see, right? So, I can't even fathom what's above her crotch. That the video went viral, but I'll take a look at it.
All right. So technically, I guess you're right because it is above her crotch. She got her husband's name tattooed on her forehead. And here is a video clip courtesy of Kingmaker Tattoo on Instagram. Look at this. So there it is there. He's first, they put the thing on there because they got to get the, what do you call it? The, I forget what you call it, where they put that on first. They trace over it. There it is. Now, I got to say, it's kind of surprising to me that a woman in a traditional place like India would do that. And the video stops right when the dude starts putting the pen up there. That makes me question if it might be fake or not. But what do you think?
I mean, to me, I view if I had my wife get my name on her forehead, doesn't that kind of make a statement about me? Like, it seems like branding, like how you'd brand cattle.
Yep. Have you seen Yellowstone?
No, but I mean, have they done that to women on Yellowstone?
Yellowstone, Kevin Costner's character made the guys get tattoos or brands on their chest.
Okay, but guys, that's like a gang, right? I can
Yeah,
see it as a gang.
it was
But in a marriage, like Jimmy, would your wife like? It's like, oh, I can understand the sentimentality of like, oh, a little heart with your significant other's name or whatever. But on the forehead is making kind of a statement.
If I said to my wife, "Hey, I want you to do this," she'd say, "That's cute. Go take out the garbage." And that would be the end of it. But that's what they did. So you already kind of answered a question I was going to ask you. You said you don't have any tattoos, but let me ask you this. If you were ever going to consider getting one to impress your significant other, what is your limit in terms of where you would allow it to be placed? Like, would you go for the Cody Rhodes on the neck to impress your wife?
I mean, obviously, like I'm not even thinking about how it looks. Is that I don't want to get a tattoo because it looks like it hurts, right? Like my tolerance for pain is very low. So it's like, well, a funny spot would be like on my penis, but like, no, there's no way, right? You had that whole joke with the word, it's like, it's only 2 letters and it's a whole sentence, right? There's a joke for that, an old school joke. It goes like that. But my consideration is more like, where do I have the most amount of like blubber or something, like maybe like my thighs or something? So when I have to sit there and it's like, I tell my wife, like, we're just getting an outline. It's one color. We're not going back for like filling in or anything like that. If I'm gonna have to have where I don't mind the tattoo. It's just that can it be a sticker? Can it be an iron-on or something like that?
Maybe just go for the initials and just write them that big. You know what I mean?
Right. Just, I can do that
right?
with a pencil. Why don't I just do that? I'll fake it. I'll say I'll go, and then every day I write it on my skin with a pen, and that'll be fine.
There you go. I think Renee Young has just a little heart on her wrist, like a tiny little heart. So that's all you need, Jordan Cooper looking to get a tattoo to express his love for his wife. Good for him. All right, reminder, guys, get into Superchats to get your question or statement read on the air. Or if you can't catch the show live, go to kynchat.com, leave a contribution at any time, and we'll read it on the next show. All right, let's go to story number 5. Reported by KFVS CBS 12. All right, these are never ending. So there's a man in Williamson County, Illinois, and he needed a ride to the airport in order to catch a flight to Nevada. I guess Uber and taxi services weren't available because he chose another option. Jordan, what did the guy do to get himself to the airport?
Oh, to the airport.
To the airport.
I was under the impression of that. How did he get to Nevada? Right?
No,
I was
just
thinking
to the
maybe he
airport.
took an Uber. Maybe he took an Uber to Nevada. Like he's like, I'm like, how about we go to the airport? They stop and you go, you know what? I don't feel like getting out. Just take me to Nevada.
All the way to
Right?
Nevada. Yeah.
Right? I don't care. It's $3,000. So the thing is that he tried to get an Uber and there weren't any available.
That I don't know. I don't know if he tried to get an Uber. All I know is he took an alternative option to get to the
Took an
airport.
alternative option, and it's in the middle of Illinois. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell
Williamson
airport?
County.
Yeah, what airport is around there?
That I
Is
have
it
no
rural?
idea. I have no
Is
idea.
this rural? Is this
I
is
think
this
it
near
might be.
O'Hare?
It might. I have no idea. No idea what airport it was.
You don't have the details? Come on. This doesn't help me out. How else would he have got? Now, obviously, like this wouldn't be a stupid news story. I'm thinking about, the kayfabe aspect of it. It's like, oh, well, he walked there. It's like, nah, no one's writing a news story about that.
Unless he's got to walk 200 miles or something, maybe. But otherwise,
right, maybe. But Forrest Gump that he could just Forrest Gump it. Just
he
walk
could.
the
He
whole,
could.
walk the
Yeah.
whole way. So how did he get there? I'm gonna guess. I'm hoping it's rural or something that he got on, some type of decently sized animal that he found.
Man, I almost thought you were going to get there because I thought you were going to say tractor. No, he stole a backhoe, and we've got video. Check this out. So the backhoe was spotted in the parking lot of the airport. It was considered suspicious, so deputies were called. They checked surveillance. They saw this video of the guy. They were able to ID him. His name is Timothy J. Baggett. He was arrested after he landed in Nevada. So he was arrested in Elko County, Nevada, for charges related to the possession of a stolen vehicle. Apparently, that backhoe was parked at a job site. The dude needed a ride to the airport. He's walking along. He sees it. I guess the keys must have been in it, got in the backhoe, and took off 10 minutes to the airport. That's what he did. I mean, the guy's creative. Can we give him that?
Is that what it's called? You said backhoe, and I'm
like, backhoe.
Okay, the language is fine on this show, I guess. I didn't know that was called a backhoe. The thing that I want to point out on the video, that I think that his sentencing, he should get like a little bit less, maybe a lesser charge, because he did kind of do a good parking job. He did park it in the parking lot. He didn't just like leave it in the middle of the street like one of those like scooters in urban areas where like the bird scooters, people just throw them around or whatever. No, he did a nice parking job, and I wasn't aware that you could even steal one of those. Like do they normally just leave the keys in it or something?
I mean, that was going to be one of my questions. Like, who left the keys in it? Where are the workers on the job site? Like, are all the workers off having a coffee break? Like, how was the dude able to just go? And don't you need a specialized license to drive something like that?
This guy cares about that? He stole the tractor.
No, but how did he know to drive it? Like, don't you need a specialized license to drive it? Like, maybe he had a license to do that. I have no idea. See,
how hard is it to figure out? It's a steering wheel and a button or something.
Not always. Like sometimes they got stick shifts in there, and I'm from a small town. I've seen tractors. I haven't driven one, but I've seen tractors, and sometimes it could be a little bit more complicated.
Are you alluding to the fact that maybe it was an inside job?
It's possible that it was. I mean, apparently his only cargo on the plane was a guitar. That's all he had on him was a guitar.
That's it.
That's it. So
did he carry? Was it carry-on?
Yes, I think it was a carry-on. So this guy was a guitar playing, backhoe driving. Illinois man. Illinoisan? Yeah, that's what he was.
I guess he was going to Nevada for a gig to finally get some stuff.
Now we're getting all the details going. This is why I got a stand-up comic here, because he's just filling it in like this. Let's go to story number 4, reported by WCJB ABC 20. All right. So a man in Gainesville, Florida. This is something. A man in Gainesville, Florida. He stabbed his roommate in the neck. Didn't kill him, but he's charged with attempted murder. According to the arrest report, the guy said that he stabbed his roommate because it was instinctual based on how he was dressed. The guy actually said this. Why did you stab your roommate? It was instinct. What was the suspect wearing that caused him to explain that his actions were instinctual?
Well, once you read the story, I knew it was Florida. Like it's like
you did? Yeah.
1,000. This is Florida. This is easily Florida.
Yeah, Florida man.
And what's been going on down in Florida, like with the laws and stuff they're passing, I can only imagine what his roommate was dressed at. Instinctual. So that alludes that throughout the course of his life, like the cerebellum of his brain, like the lizard part of the brain, just makes it that like I'm in danger. I need to attack, fight or flight. I'm people are gonna think it's like, oh, it's gonna be like, oh, he's dressing up as a woman. I was like, I'm gonna guess he dressed up as some type of clown.
Ah, that's a pretty good answer. No, he dressed in a cat costume, and we got video courtesy of the Alachua County Sheriff's Department. Check this out.
Come on. Walk out. This way. Turn around.
Way out. Back up.
Keep coming out.
Back up. Keep coming.
Down him outside.
All the way out.
Don't bring it past, y'all. Back up. Back up, guys. Come on. Come on.
Turn around. Turn around.
That's what happened. So police arrested 32-year-old Omar Gutierrez, and you saw that cat costume. I mean, I've had cats. You know, they could be unpredictable. You never know when they're going to strike. So I guess his excuse was, I'm dressed as a cat, and that's what cats do. And that's his explanation.
Well, hold on. You framed this a different way. I thought the guy dressed normally and then stabbed the other person who was dressed as something. No, so the perpetrator.
Yes,
Was
the
dressed.
perpetrator.
Oh, I was under the impression that he saw someone in a cat costume and said, I got to stab the cat, right? Right. And then I see them arresting the cat guy. I'm like, were they both dressed as cats? Were they having a cat fight?
Yeah, oh, that's clever. That's clever. No, the perpetrator was dressed as the cat, and he said it was instinctual. Like, what if you were the cop and you're showing up to arrest this guy for attempted murder because he stabbed his roommate in the neck and he's dressed like a cat and he says it was instinctual? If you're the cop, what are you thinking? Are you thinking, okay, well, you know what? I'll give him marks for that. Like, what are you thinking about that?
Well, I mean, first off, you would say if let's say for instance, this is some delusional guy, right? You never know. Dresses up as a cat, thinks he's a cat. Now, I can understand if he'd like jumped on his roommate and clawed him, or did the whole, like kind of like breading, whatever they baking cookies or whatever the cats call it. Like if he done that type of stuff, but it's like he stabbed him with a weapon. I've never seen a cat, and any cat in real life, like grab weapons in order to attack. It's always going to be with their claws and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the knife was his claw. Maybe that's how he looked at it.
Now it's going too far. Now I don't believe it.
I mean, the first thing I think of is, okay, he stabbed him in the neck because he's a cat and he thought that's instinctual. Thank God he wasn't dressed like Jason Voorhees. What would have happened in that situation? Or what if he was dressed like a shark? What was he going to do then? You know what I mean?
Well, it'd be kind of tough. He should be in water. It wouldn't be instinctual.
You're right. So maybe
he couldn't use that excuse of being instinctual.
Because he'd be flopping on the floor.
I'd be flopping. I can't breathe.
All right, let's go to story number 3, reported by WSB TV. All right. You're good with the creative answers. Let's see what you got to say about this one. So if you've seen Shawshank Redemption, you might appreciate this one. There's an inmate at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, Georgia. He dug a hole through a wall made of concrete and metal, just like Tim Robbins in Shawshank Redemption. So he dug a hole through a wall in order to reach the other side, but he didn't do it to escape. Why did this inmate spend all that time digging a hole through a wall at the Fulton County Jail?
So he had no intention of escape. So how long? Like, was this just to like the next room, or was this like a Shawshank Redemption? Like, oh my God, he spent 27 years digging like a mile. I mean, like that movie's a little bit unbelievable.
A little bit unbelievable. So I don't think this one took as long. Let me just say that. I don't think it took as long.
Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit pragmatic. Thinking like I've been arrested once. I spent a night in jail once.
Really? For what?
Right. Being part of a underground card room in New York City. So
really?
Place got raided or whatever, and
yeah.
Okay, I mean, I could admit to that, right? It's on the record or something. I could say that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's central booking in New York City. It's not really. You're not in prison. You're not right. You're at a holding facility, and you go to get arraigned and whatever. I'm going to think pragmatically of like if I was in prison, and maybe I wanted my own private bathroom or shower, and that would be the best way to access it. Because obviously, you typically have to go and maybe there's, all these stalls, all the showers. We have all the jokes from God knows how long ago about dropping the soap, right? That type of stuff. And it's like, you know what? I just want peace and quiet in the bathroom, right? I want to be able to, like, you can't read your phone, obviously, in prison. You probably don't have a newspaper. So you're probably
Contraband.
reading
Yeah,
the wall.
contraband,
People
maybe.
have the messages they scratch on the wall. I just want 20 minutes every day. And maybe some like private officer bathroom somewhere is that maybe the next thing over from their cell. And like, okay, if I dig a hole and put up some, pin-up models, to poster,
Right.
then
Like
I
how
have my
Welsh.
own
Yeah.
private bathroom.
So you're on the right track because he did dig a hole through a wall to a shower, but he did it to stab another inmate. That was the whole thing. And here is a video clip courtesy of ABC News. This is where he did it. The inmate's name is KYN Thomas. He dug a hole through a shower wall just to stab fellow inmate Rodney Russell. Russell sustained non-life-threatening injuries, and after the attack, deputies found shanks that were made from parts of that dilapidated building infrastructure, which is what he used, and charges against him are still pending. So you're on the right track. So he did find his way to a shower, but he didn't do it, because he wanted to take a shit in private. He did it because he had, imagine the rage that you've got built up in your head that you're thinking, I'm not going to wait until I'm out in the yard, or I'm not going to wait until like we're in the cafeteria. I'm going into the shower to get this fucker. Like, imagine what you must have been thinking. And the work ethic. What could this guy do if he was constructive with that work ethic?
How shoddy is the construction of the prison?
Can't be good. Yeah, it can't
I
be
was
good.
thinking, hearing this, that this is the epilogue of the previous story. He got caught and he was wearing a cat costume, and he said, "I it was instinctual. It was instinctual." What are you talking about? I had to stab the guy next to me.
Yeah, and like they didn't say how long it took, but Joe, put up that video again. They didn't say how long it took. Obviously, it wasn't Shawshank where it was a thing of solid concrete, but he still had to go through that concrete wall right there. You're not doing that in an hour. That probably took him a little bit of time, and he did it just to stab the other dude. So I don't know. What do you think? Like I said, the guy's got the work ethic. He's got the drive. Wrong idea. Spend it doing something else. Talk to Tim Robbins, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? And he's going to add years to his sentence now for this shit.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to be on that like work release. When they, obviously private prisons. You hire the workers for 32 cents an hour. Like, I think it's going to be on his resume.
You think it will? He can. You're right. He can be like a contractor.
Right. He can lead the team or whatever. The only thing is you have to keep sharp objects away from him.
Or he'll make his own. Yeah. All right. Final reminder, guys, get in your super chats to have your question or statement read on the air, or go to kynchat.com, leave a contribution anytime you want, and we will read it on the next show. All right. We're whipping through. Let's go to story number 2, reported by the Daily Dot. So you've probably heard about this. There's an ongoing labor shortage, right? It's been happening all over ever since the pandemic, especially in retail and in fast food. Seems like nobody wants to work. There is a Church's Chicken location somewhere in the U.S., because they didn't say what state. Nobody was working at the Church's Chicken. Customers walk in, they're standing there. Nobody is there. There's no employee in sight. So what did a customer decide to do when they walked into Church's Chicken and there's nobody on the job?
Well, this one's an easy one, I think. I mean, what would they do? If I walked into a fast food place, right? I go to wherever, McDonald's or McAllister's or anything like that. If there was no one in there, obviously I'm a civilized person. I'm just going to assume that they're in the back or something, whatever. But like at a certain point, like 15 minutes in, I'm going to be like, I want to order my number 4 with a Coke and fries or whatever. Maybe I'd go around and see if there's anything in the back. I mean, kind of go in and maybe I'm going and making my own chicken.
Good for you. That's exactly what he did. He went behind the counter, prepared his own order. Here's a video courtesy of TJJ on TikTok. Look at this.
There was no employees, so my boy went and got his own food.
So apparently there was one employee on a shift, and when they were in a meeting, Someone called them into a freaking meeting
Who?
when there's
only one person there. What type of meeting is this?
I guess he was on like a phone call. So he was in a meeting, and so there's nobody up front to serve customers. So it's interesting that you said you would serve it yourself, because some people, they feel like they're crossing boundaries. Some people will stand there for an hour. Some people will do that, right? They'll just stand there for an hour, and other people will say, well, the hell with this, and they'll walk out. But not you and not that guy. He said, hell with it. I'm going to get my own stuff. Good for you, man. You're there to eat your chicken, and you're going to get your chicken, right?
Just like if I see a backhoe with a key in it, I'm going to take it to the airport. Of course I'm going to do it. The thing I don't understand in that video, it seemed like there was a lot of food. If there's only one person there, so you're telling me that, to me, this is the byproduct of, like, you have to hire more people. So this person must have been making all that food and doing the front and doing the drive-through at the same time. Like, what do you expect? And did anything happen to the guy? And obviously this was, recorded.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing, see, I'm classy. I'm classy, Jimmy. If I make my own food, I'm going to go ring it up also, and I'm going to pay for it.
Okay. Now, are you going to ring up exactly what you bought, or are you
I
just
don't know what the cashier is. They have numbers and stuff. Some of them have like pictures and stuff. I don't know. I'm going to look on the menu, and I'm going to say, okay, how much is it supposed to cost? And be like I always carry some amount of cash, so maybe I leave a 10. Maybe it's not exact.
It's not bad.
If you're telling me it's $2 off, and I screwed you out of $2, it's like, dude, you should be glad I left you anything.
So you're not going to have like 8 pounds of chicken, and you're going to ring in, I bought a Pepsi.
No. I mean, I'm not even going to ring it in. I'm just going to leave. I'll leave money there. But I mean, what happens if I didn't have any cash? I mean, then, like, okay, do I have to put the card in? I would, at least for the cameras. See, this is how I think. It's like, for the cameras, I'd go, well, I could pay here, and then be like, and then throw up my hands, maybe even look at the camera and go, like, shrug. Right?
Then take your chicken and go.
Right. And then I go out, get in my backhoe, and go off to the airport.
Awesome. We have a KYN chat from Jay Core. And he says, started the episode over. I love this weekly dose of stupidity. Challenge, find 7 from one continent alone, excluding North America. I think I can accept that challenge because, like I said, I got to go through 40 or 50 of these every week to find 7. So finding 7 that are not from North America, I don't think that'll be a challenge.
I think it's a challenge to find 7 from Antarctica.
Well, possibly. But if I want to stick to China or India, I can knock out 15. Like nothing.
There's enough people there, obviously. That you get the mathematical advantage of, like, well, when there's 2 billion people in one place, you're going to find plenty of stupid of them.
And technically, he said continent. He didn't say country. That means I can hit Asia and knock out all kinds of shit.
Right, but they wouldn't count for other continents.
No, but he said just do everything from one continent. So I would pick Asia, knock out 7 like nothing. So you know what? Maybe I'll take you up on it. But if I do, I expect another KYN chat when we do the show. How does that sound? How does it sound? All right, time for story number 1 already, man. Reported by BBC News. All right, last one. So a government official in India, his name is Rajesh Vishwas, and he is a food inspector, and he was at a dam that's used as a water reservoir for people living in the area. I guess that's one of the jobs of the food inspector. He's got to go check out the water reservoir. Apparently, he was trying to take a selfie when he was at the dam, and he accidentally dropped his Samsung phone into the water. And so my question for you, Jordan, is what did he do next after he dropped his phone into the dam taking a selfie?
Well, it wouldn't be a news story if he just picked it up, right? I mean...
Well, it's also in a dam, so I don't know how easy it'd be to pick it up, but...
So hold on. So is this like the type of dam? Like, I was in Las Vegas recently, and then there's the Hoover Dam. So if you're on the top of the dam and you drop your phone, it's like that. It's way down there. So are we talking that type of dam, or just like he was at the dam and he's at the bottom of the dam and he dropped his phone into the water reservoir?
So it wasn't as massive as the Hoover Dam. The Hoover Dam is like a spectacle. It wasn't as massive as the Hoover Dam, but it was a dam, meaning that the water was gathered, and he was. It doesn't look like the walls were very tall, but he was kind of on the edge taking a selfie and dropped it in the water. Don't know how deep the water is, though. I think the water was decently deep.
Okay, so the fact that it's a news story, see, this is how my analytical brain thinks. The fact that it's a news story mean that he probably got is the footage, okay, Give me the clue. Is the footage that you're going to show from the phone or from someone else recording him trying to get the phone?
It's from someone else recording it.
Okay, so now, you see, you ruined it because now I know that probably the phone's we don't know what the phone's dead. The phone's done, right? So I'm gonna assume he tried to put together sticks or some type of way of reaching down, with some type of material in order to retrieve said phone, and I'm assuming everyone's safe.
That would have been a lot better. So he actually ordered that the reservoir be drained and brought in pumps to drain it just to get his stupid phone. And we have a video clip courtesy of the Times of India. Look at this. So this guy called for a diesel pump to be brought in, and over a 3-day period, they pumped out over 2 million liters, or about 440,000 gallons of water, just so this moron could get his cell phone. He tried to spin it afterwards, saying, oh, this will benefit the farmers, because when we pump the water into a canal, it went into farmland, and so it's irrigation for farmers. So he tried to spin it like that, but everybody was pissed because this is like water that the villagers use as like their drinking water and for everything that they use in their homes. So people were pissed off. Eventually a senior official showed up and put a stop to it. What do you think about this, man? What do you think about, Buddy's taking a selfie, drops it in there, and he decides to use whatever power he has to get a diesel pump to pump out 2 million liters of water to get his phone? What do you think?
That sounds like a standard government official to me. My thing is, it would have been so much funnier instead of getting the pumps to get the water out, that he went to people's houses and purposely flush toilets. No, you got to keep on. You got to keep on going. I'm ordering you people all take showers. Next hour, you guys take showers, and then they just use up all the water. People are drinking bottles of water. They're going like this. They're doing cooking, whatever. And then eventually it's low enough, and then he picks up his phone. And at that point, I mean, I know Samsung phones, some of them are water resistant, but do you really think that the phone is going to be, is it going to work after 3 days on the bottom of a dam?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he tried to claim that there were sensitive documents on it, government documents. That's what he tried to claim.
We all know what the sensitive documents were. Come on.
Yeah.
We know that we have, everyone has some pictures like that of themselves on the phone.
I'm sure. Yep, but that's what he did. All right, I want to thank my guest, Jordan Cooper. Jordan, tell the people what you're doing and where they can find you.
Well, I mean, you can find me on the Roto Grinders YouTube channel if you're into fantasy sports. I teach, I'm pretty much teach math there, but if you want to get better at stuff like DraftKings, FanDuel, sports betting, anything like that, tune in there. And also, since a lot of wrestling fans do watch Know Your News, I just started a new podcast with John Alba from Out of Bounds, right? If you watch on Mondays, called The Theory of Pro Wrestling, right? You can go to theoryofprowrestling.com. That'll direct you to YouTube or the podcast. And we pedantically talk about storytelling and narrative devices in pro wrestling, debate subjectively, what aspects are good, bad, effective, or otherwise. So appreciate the subscribe and follow there.
Awesome. That'll do it for KYN Live. Tune in next Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern time for more news stories that are totally real, but totally ridiculous. Until then, bye for now.